Alrighty, guys, we're back for Selesnya Control, and this is a Lost Caverns of Ixalan Standard brew, and I'm Redcat. Let's go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. First things first, this is a suggestion over in the Discord. Thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. Yeah, I don't get to play decks like this too often outside of suggestions, so this is my version of that list. And in my version, I'm rocking 3 blind mice, all 4 of them. A 3-mana Enchantment Saga. For the first chapter, you create a 1/1 mouse creature token. Cool. Chapter 2, Chapter 3, create a token that's a copy of another target token you control. Nice. So, of course, if you have the mouse already, you're just going to create a token of that mouse. But we also have other tokens in here that we wouldn't mind copying with 3 blind mice. Chapter 4, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. Now, something important for me when I play Control is actually just being able to plug damage through and actually wrap up the game in a reasonable amount of time. And I think going this whole token route is really going to help with that. We have all 4 wedding announcements in here too, more token generation, potential card draw, and of course flips into festivity to buff a wide board state, which I do think is going to be very possible to get a wide board state in here. Might as well finish going over the 3-mana cards. We have Kayla's Command as a one-of, kind of an underplayed card, dude. This is a 3-mana sorcery. You get to choose one of these. You can create a 2/2 colorless construct artifact creature token, which you could totally copy with that 3 blind mice, by the way. Or you can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. It gains double strike until end of turn. Like I said, I like plug-in damage, and there's some pretty good creatures in here that we wouldn't mind giving double strike to. Or you can search your library for a plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand. Or you can gain 2 life and scry 2. Getting to choose 2 of these just seems super valuable, man. We also have Huatli, Poet of Unity. This is a 3-mana 2/3 legendary creature. And when it ETBs, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Yeah, we really don't mind playing a land every single turn, so all that's going to come in handy. And then for just 5 mana, and honestly, I say just 5 because we're able to flip Huatli often when we play with her. So 3, and for this build, double white, you exile this, return it as Roar of the Fifth People. For the first chapter, you create a couple 3/3 green dinosaur creature tokens. Chapter 2, your creatures get tap for Naya colors. Okay, sounds cool to me. Chapter 3, search your library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And we do have some pretty sick dinos to hit with that. And then chapter 4, dinosaurs you control gain double strike and trample until end of turn. So that includes the dinosaur tokens, but it also includes our top end here, Tyrranax Rex. A 7-mana 8/8, it can't be countered. Oh my. Trample, Ward 4, Haste, Toxic 4, just an absolute behemoth of a card, man. We really don't mind grabbing this off the Roar of the Fifth People ability, but also just like casting this out shouldn't be too hard in this build at all. Also noteworthy, like the dinosaur tokens on Roar of the Fifth People can also be copied with 3 blind mice, just giving us more ways to generate more dinos for when it comes time for the double strike trample too, so. Okay, we do unfortunately have 4 Sunfalls in here. A disgusting card, the bane of our existence, but kind of necessary, I think, for the build, right? The incubator token that you get off of this is absolutely disgusting. Just exile all creatures. Ah, jeez, bro. And then incubate X, where X is the number of creatures exiled this way. So if it comes down to it and you actually did go a little bit wide, but now you're in an emergency and the opponent might win next turn, drop Sunfall, and then your incubator token just gets more tokens because of your wide board state, so, or more counters, I mean. And we do have other terrific control cards like Wandering Emperor as a 3 of in here, not a 4 of actually. Nice. Now you got that -1 where you generate the 2/2 Vigilant Samurai. Again, that's a token that you can totally copy with the 3 blind mice chapter 2 and chapter 3. So that's pretty cool, huh? Glistening Dawn made the cut this time too. A 4-mana sorcery speed, you incubate X twice, where X is the number of lands you control, which I think would be a chunky amount. And I just like the thought of having these nice chunky incubators just sitting on the sideline and waiting. And then like you wipe the board and then you power up those nice chunky incubators too, you know? Check out the front of the build. We have all 4 Sunset Revelries. Now, I do wonder how often we're going to end up generating humans off of this, but I think it would be more often than you think, especially early game. After that mid game, I think we're probably going to have too many creatures on the board, but I mean, life gain is pretty good too, and you never know when you're going to get that card draw. I've actually seen a huge uptick in the amount of Sunset Revelry, oh my, being played, and I could see why. We also have 3 Get Lost. This can totally be your choice of spot removal. That's fine. I do think that the game will go on long enough for your opponent to utilize those map tokens, but I just think having that utility removal that hits creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers is going to be more important than their map tokens, but we'll see, we'll see. Also opting for clay-fired bricks in this one. So, 2-mana artifact. When it ETBs, you search your library for a plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand. Basic plains, that's important. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, and you gain 2 life too. And then it has craft with an artifact for 5 and double white, which I don't think is going to be unheard of in here. We do have artifacts off of like our incubators, for example. The construct on Kayla's command is an artifact as well. And I guess technically, if you ever end up using Get Lost on one of your own things, you could totally use those map tokens as the artifact to craft with the clay-fired bricks, which probably doesn't happen too often, but hey, it's in the build, so. Now, when you craft this, it comes in as Cosmium Kiln, an artifact. When it ETBs, you create 2 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens. So another way to go wide, but then also creatures you control get +1/+1. Another way to buff that wide board state too. Very cool, very nice. We also have another planeswalker here. Elspeth Resplendent is a 5-mana 5 loyalty legendary planeswalker with a +1, where you get to choose up to 1 target creature. You put a +1/+1 counter on it, and a counter from among flying, first strike, lifelink, or vigilance. That's a pretty cool ability, and I do think we're going to have enough creatures on the board to activate that ability, but it's mainly in here for that -3 too. So you look at the top 7 cards of your library, you may put a permanent card with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield with a shield counter on it, and you put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. We have a lot of great 3-drops to hit off of Elspeth Resplendent. That's a pretty good ability, man. There's a lot of ways to like protect the Elspeth Resplendent too in here. I mean, not necessarily protect, I guess like chump block for a few turns, wipe the board, stuff like that. Keep the Elspeth Resplendent around long enough to plus it up to that -7, where you create 5 3/3 white angel creature tokens with flying. So that could be really cool. I don't think I've ever been able to pull off the -7 on Resplendent, but hey, maybe today's the day, huh? More top end, more dinos. We got Ghalta and Mavren. This is a 7-mana. Look at those Selesnya pips up there. It's a 12/12 with trample. It is a legendary creature. Whenever you attack, you get to choose one. So it's just like attack in general. You don't have to attack with Ghalta. So you get to choose one of these. Create a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. Yep. You guessed what I was going to say. It is a token, and you could totally copy that token. Now, when you copy the created XX, it doesn't come out as a 0/0, right? It should just be a copy as the XX dino. I would hope so, at least. Outside of that, it has that bottom ability too. Create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So, of course, you can copy those 1/1 vampires too. The mana base, guys, we got Farmland, we got Thicket, we got all 4 Restless Prairies too. Hopefully not slowing us down too much, but another way to buff a wide board state. I have a Jetmir's Garden. Even though the red source technically isn't doing anything, I do think this is the type of deck where sometimes we end up flooding out. 25 total land, I know. But every now and then you're going to cycle this out and find like removal off the top. So that's kind of why the Jetmir's Garden is in here. Who Endures, Seat of the Empire, leaning a little bit towards plains because that's what the deck is leaning towards. It's actually heavily leaning towards plains, but I do think the mana base will be totally fine, especially with all these dual land. Didn't opt for any of the pain land this time. Maybe that's a mistake, but I'm taking a lot of damage all the time, and I don't want to take like double brushland damage to get my Wandering Emperor down or something. You know what I mean? And then instead of Ambitious Farmhand, I opted for the Clayfire Bricks. But hey, maybe it should be the other way around. I just think every now and then we're going to be able to craft with that artifact. So I think that's why no Ambitious Farmhand this time. Okay, guys, is that everything? Hopefully, let's go ahead, take it into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be good, man. I think it's going to be good. We'll see. We'll see. I know one thing. I'm ready for some victories. I know that much. Victories have been hard to come by so far for this week. We go first. Okay. I don't mind this hand. Questioning why we go first here, but I'll take it, I guess. especially if we're up against like aggro or something, but I doubt that since we're going first, you know what I mean? Restless Anchorage. Well, I guess nothing for the turn. It's not worth the Sunset Revelry just yet. Ledger Shredder. Oh. Prairie. I think we're going to go right into the Huatli, and we will grab a green source. Even though we have enough green already, there's just a lot more cards packed in that grabs us plains anyways, so grabbing the green source is totally fine. Drop their third. Storm Chaser Drake. Okay. Oh. Oh. They're holding back, actually. Okay. Not 100% sure as to why they're holding back, but we won't get life gain off of the Revelry now. I know that much. We could still play it, though. It's probably just Restless Prairie for the turn, so that way we have untapped sources. We could get a couple 1/1s. We won't get the draw. We won't get anything else. We'll just get a couple 1/1s. I say we do nothing. It's an awkward turn, but I feel like getting more value off the Sunset Revelry would be a little better than 1/1s, right? Maybe? Especially if they just swing for 3 here and we actually get the 1 life gain. Other than that, like Sunfall would be absolutely disgusting. For next turn too, for this turn, can save the farmland so they know less of what's in our hand. Wounders is good. Do they have 2 open now? So, uh-oh. Maintenance. Oh no, guys. Why is there maintenance today? I'm tempted to flip the Huatli, but I guess this turn is the turn to go Sunset Revelry. Because we gain 4, we get 2 on the ground. We have Wounders open, I suppose, if we really want to. So no attacks. They wanted to make sure they kept the double block around for the Huatli for some reason. I'd rather flip that and use the Sunfall only as an emergency here. Yeah, hopefully the maintenance doesn't interrupt my recording here. It very well might, though. That kind of sucks. Going down to 18. Like we might get a swing next turn. Okay, more land isn't a bad thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're getting close to our top-end dinos. Restless Prairie could power up too. Anything we play could easily get countered is the problem. So I wouldn't mind just going Huatli. We could do that after the swing. Nah, I'm just going to power up. I'm not going to swing because this could be a Wandering Emperor too. We don't entirely know what the opponent's playing. Slip out the back. Okay. Well, that kind of sucks. So we spent mana essentially for nothing. They have great damage in the air here. So next turn, Rex could come down, but it kind of just feels like they're going to continue to play tempo and like keep a counter spell open and stuff too. Like the odds of them tapping out here is pretty low. And if it is like a Wandering Emperor style build, which we really don't know. Oh, Destroy Evil on the Huatli. This is activate only as a sorcery, unfortunately. So they gave it a counter so the Destroy Evil could actually land. That's pretty brutal, actually, man. Sunset Revelry. Or Sunfall. Or Tyrranax Rex. Rex swing, the ward is huge. But Rex... Oh, Rex can't be countered, guys. Okay, well, we can outpace them then. The ward 4 is disgusting. We can totally outpace them with this Rex. I guess keep emergency blockers on the ground. It's because at this point, we'd win with Toxic, if that's the case. Or just a couple more swings on Rex anyways. So I don't know what their plan is against the Rex when the ward 4 is so beautiful. And I'm not 100% certain why I was concerned about a counter spell when this spell can't be countered. Okay, they're going to try to outpace us down to 7. I think they can easily outpace us. So we're going to have to gain off of Revelry, right? We could also... Oh, we actually just win with the Ghalta play, don't we? Ghalta, and then swing, and then Dino. Tapped and attacking 8/8. GG opponent. Holy cow, man. What a game. That played out pretty well, and then they finally like ended up tapping out there, so we didn't have to worry about a counter on the Ghalta or anything too. That was pretty sick. So I wonder when the maintenance is. I suppose what I'll end up doing is hope that it doesn't take too long. Did it say when the maintenance was? Crap, dude. I don't often sit down to record during a maintenance time, so I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see if we just get kicked out of the game or something, and then I'll end up pausing and hoping it doesn't take too long. Okay, opponent goes first. I'd say we keep this, right? This is totally fine. We saw pretty much everything we needed to see in the last game. It worked out relatively okay, and I think being patient with our Sunset Revelry was totally fine too. Yeah, having our top end there just slamming down 2 turns in a row was absolutely just disgusting. Those big old dinosaurs. Okay, Jetmir colors. Schooner comes down. Well, I suppose we just keep the Get Lost open. See what they end up doing here. At least Get Lost does hit the Schooner when they power it up. Silver Fur Master. All right. I do wonder if I want to hit that. I guess it's still the Subterranean Schooner though, right? I think so. Or we could just take the damage and go Sunset Revelry for next turn, because we don't have a turn 3 planned in hand. Okay. So we gotta wait for it to actually power, then we hit it before the swing so they don't get the... They get a couple map tokens, which could be really bad though. Save Get Lost open again? Okay, at this point we're just waiting to get to 5 mana, but we'll have Wandering Emperor next turn. Yeah, hopefully the map tokens don't do too much for them. Keep 3. I wonder if this is going to be a counterspell. I'll try to take out the Silver Fur. Okay. They got more tokens. Which I suppose they could play like a 1 mana, then activate 2 of these. If we decided to save Get Lost in hand, we could have taken the damage, went Sunset Revelry, got a couple tokens, gained 4 up to 22, and then just did nothing for this turn. I guess, like, take out their bigger play, which they were probably going to actually try to get the Thief through anyways, right? Now we have Wandering Emperor available, though. And we have the 5th when it comes time to get Resplendent down, which could be just absolutely disgusting, man. Suspicious Stowaway. Cool, cool. Yeah, the Wandering Emperor is going to be pretty gross here. And if they go... Oh, it's going to be land. Do we just go for the block? Or do we go for the exile? They do have an open swamp. That could be a cut down. I'm going to go for the...
Run away.
I'm gonna risk it with the block. How do you guys feel about that? Stowaway can't be blocked, so that gets through. Okay, we have an active Wandering Emperor on the board. Another Revelry. Before we do anything with the Emperor, I'm going to go right into that Resplendent while they don't have any blue open. We're going to go right into... Oh, we could... Yeah, let's find something off the Resplendent. Gets a shield token, too.
May your peace last.
Announcement or 3 Blind Mice. Both are pretty good here. I don't mind either of these. I think it's going to be Announcement. How do you guys feel about that? They have the swing at the Wandering Emperor. Unblocked regardless. So we'll see if they end up... I'm going to try to save the Wandering Emperor. Submit 0. Bring it up to 3.
I have got new moves to teach you.
I'm going to try to save it from that swing, so no -1 there. And when I say try, of course, they could go Stowaway and then maybe ninjutsu out. Because when it's unblocked, they can ninjutsu out and then potentially hit the Wandering Emperor anyways. But with Schooner and 2 of their ninjutsu cards out, there's a chance that Emperor survives now. 5th mana. Well, they might just go for as many counters as possible on Stowaway and try to kill it that way. Land. They could still technically get the Stowaway to a 3. See it. Land. Well, that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks for them because now there's a really good chance that the Wandering Emperor is surviving, right? If they go to 2, though, actually, I guess Elspeth is going to die, but we got the wedding announcement from it, so we did get some value, at least. So even though Emperor survives, they have the swing at Resplendent. Then we have the exile on Stowaway. Kind of in an awkward position with these Sunset Revelries because we haven't taken damage yet. And if they don't hit Resplendent... Oh, they found their Prosperous Thief to take out the Emperor. They did find a Prosperous Thief. Wait, did we know that they had that off of the map token? No. That would have been on top of their deck, right? Kayla's Command. Okay. So I suppose... What do I want? What do I want to do here, man? Kayla's Command's pretty good. I don't mind going like this. Let's go lifelink just to be annoying, right? And then let's go another counter. This is fun. I don't mind this at all. And then I'll grab a plains. Well, do I need to grab a plains? No, let's go construct instead. Counter, double strike, get that swing. Sunset Revelry just kind of like chilling, waiting for something. I guess we could draw off of it, but generate off of wedding announcement. Yeah, I feel like it's better just to keep those back for now. The opponent's hand is nice and stocked. They did end up using all 4 map tokens, which seemed pretty good for them, actually. Right? Filtering out that land, getting that into their hand. It's going to come down to what do we want to do with the Resplendent, and where do they end up swinging to? Because if we get to keep Resplendent on the board again without it taking damage, do we just want to go -3, make sure we get value out of it? Or do we just go +1, bring our cards into the air too, that way? Saving Kayla's Command back didn't seem like anything good. Oh. They must have a second removal. Wait. Go for the throw on the 3/3? Why? What am I missing here? Why didn't they hit the 3/3, guys? They go for the throw on our 1/1. Suspicious Stowaway. Okay, Elspeth Resplendent does not survive here. And it is nighttime, too. I'm very much wondering what I'm missing. Token creature human. It's not an artifact or anything. Destroy target non-artifact creature. They hit our 1/1. Was it an accident? They effectively took care of our Planeswalkers quite well. Revelry doesn't gain us, but it does get us a couple tokens, and then our board state is getting pretty good here too. We could also just swing a couple turns in a row. That's probably a little better, right? Power up, swing. Oh, it's going to nighttime though. That could be scary. Depending on where they end up blocking though. As it goes to nighttime, they could draw off a Stowaway. Becomes the Seafaring Werewolf. They do chump. They are chumping. That's pretty good for us, man. And we're gaining more life here too. I'm still questioning the decision of the go for the throw. I feel like I'm missing something, but maybe not. There's Rex, dude. Now land off the top could be huge, but our board state's buffed enough to just keep swinging in with the Restless Prairies, I would say. And if they restock their hand at all, or if they restock their board at all with more creatures, Then Sunset Revelry can just help us go wide again. All of them get a buff with Wedding Festivity. Oh, nice. I kind of don't know what that does right now, but it does something, right? Oh, they get to play a card off of the exile. Exile the top card of each player's library until end of turn. You can play one of those cards. Hey, they found a wedding announcement from us, guys. That's pretty cool. So what, they took 3 to play that then? Pay life equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. Cool. Wow, dude. Wow. That's pretty brutal. We found the mana, and it's a full swing if I've ever seen one. That does have trample. That's brutal stuff. We had so much life gain from the lifelink counter from the Resplendent, too. Jeez, bro. Yeah, so no matter where they block here, it should be lethal damage. So GG opponent. Well, what do you guys suppose? Do you think the maintenance is going on? Or, like, I should have read the maintenance message, but I also just wanted it off my screen as soon as possible because we were in the middle of a game. So maybe it said, like, no downtime expected, and maybe we're fine. I mean, I'm still going to keep going. I'm going to keep going until it yells at me again. Selesnya control feels good so far, man. I want to test it out against some of the meta greats, though. I want to see it up against mono red, and I want to see it up against, like, mono black. Selesnya enchantments, that would be nice to take care of, too. It's been a while since I won against Selesnya enchantments. As far as I remember, it feels like a while. Uh-oh, guys. Oh, wow. This is terrible. All we needed is one white source over here for this to be a keeper. That's a mulligan, though, for sure. We go first, too. Pretty slow lands, but I'm going to keep this. And R3 drops are wild. I'm going to ditch the Sunfall. Call me crazy, man, but like, how long is it going to take for us to get to 5 mana? Hopefully not too long. But it very well might take a while. It might take a while to find our third, honestly, so we'll see. Well, there's our third. We might as well not go Seed of the Empire channel route and just get that down to keep Get Lost open just in case. Okay, there's more mana. 3 Blind Mice or Wedding Announcement. Which one would we prefer gets countered? Since we have 2 Wedding Announcements, I suppose we try one of the Wedding Announcements. Okay, make disappear number 1 out of the opponent's build. 3rd mana, probably passing it right back, right? Because if it's like Haughty Djinn without protection open, then we definitely go for the Get Lost. Nissa. Did I go over Nissa when I went over the deck? Crap, guys. Well, hey, we have a top-end Planeswalker that's pretty decent. Called Nissa. I think I forgot. That's another way just to generate that mid to late game value with tokens. That's silly, man. That's silly. Okay, I'm going to go Wedding Announcement because the combo with Nissa and 3 Blind Mice seems really cool. Which I believe when you copy the XX tokens, it should be an XX, not a 0/0. So hopefully, like, maybe we'll get to test that this game. Very mastermind. Oh, Wedding Announcement's on the board. Cool. But potentially no other counterspell in the opponent's hand. Of course, they could have drawn into 1. Haughty Djinn, that has to be the protection open, right? So with 2, we're gonna keep the Get Lost. So we go 3 Blind Mice, see if it lands. Nice, we get that mouse. Then we have Get Lost. Do we attempt the Get Lost though? With 1 mana open, it just has to be protection. It does. But if we let him untap, then it could be even more protection too. I'm gonna try it. Wow, it lands and we get a swing then. Okay, down to 19. We're doing this, guys. No counter spells from the opponent. They go for the map token. Yep, getting some land off the top is good for them. Yeah, the opponents have been able to utilize those map tokens, but we've been able to generate a little bit more value overall. Got one island open. If that's a Spell Pierce, then Nissa won't come down. So I'm planning on taking some damage here. They tap out. Nissa's going to hit this board, man. Get it? Copy. And then next turn, we get to test out the copy, hopefully. They got a great swing at the Nissa, but it's not like I'm not going to play nothing this turn. Like, they're tapped out, dude. I'm going for it. Artifact or enchantment, but we're just going to go +1, get a 4/4. We full swing, they have a block, they take 2, but we're about to buff this board state, and I'll tell you what mono blue doesn't like, going wide. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's good stuff, man. Yeah, one of the main reasons to have the 3 blind mice in here is to copy those really cool tokens. So hopefully it works. And I've just never been able to actually test it out. Quick study. Okay, they have a great incubator blocker on the ground now, unfortunately. From Host Seed Shark is terrific, huh? Come on. Yes, it does copy the XX. Okay. Woo. Cool stuff. So I think we still full swing. I wouldn't mind gaining off the Revelry and drawing before the swing, though. They might counter it, though. They might. Like, we don't generate 1/1s, but we get a draw. And we get some life. Huatli. Not bad, dude. Not bad. That doesn't affect combat, so I am going to wait till combat to play that then. I guess it could affect combat if they decided to, like, counter it. The Hornlocked Whale hits the 5/5. That's a shame. Hey, what happens when it goes... This should just, like, fizzle out, right? It should just become nothing. Yeah, it does. Okay. Down to 9. Let's get this down. Cool games, man. With only 1 open mana, it is not going to be a counter for our creature because, like, the only counters I can think for 1 mana is Spell Pierce, which of course is non-creature cards. Yeah, guys, we got to get there before they start getting wide with these incubators, but I'm not sure. Like, if 3 blind mice doesn't buff a wide board state, like, there's a lot they can do. Look at all these blockers. Oh no, so many blockers. Map token on the Fairy Mastermind. They still have 2 open here. It's too bad we don't have the Restless Prairie on the board. Get lost. Hey. All right. Well, I'm gonna... So they power up Incubator. They have 5. I say we try to take out, before combat, we try to take out the Chrome Host Seed Shark, because that's helping them go wide really effectively here. We still have 5 open, too, after combat if they don't take care of the Huatli. To flip that, too. All these have Vigilance for the turn. Power up. They can block 4. They block the big guys. Wait a minute. This is 9 getting through anyways. We went so wide there, guys. Holy cow. Well, this is working out, huh? 3 games in, 100% win rate. Working out really nicely. That was a math is for blockers turn, and I wasn't even thinking that we went so wide that, like, they were spamming blockers onto the board. My assumption was they were just going to have enough blockers there. But the Get Lost was great too, just taking out one of their blockers anyways. Depending on where they ended up blocking, if they did have enough, flipping the Huatli that turn would have been wild, getting a couple dinosaurs that way too. And great news, guys. We didn't get yelled at again for the maintenance, so yeah, that's good. 34 minutes in. We're going to try to get one more game in, then talk about the list again. And then, hopefully, we won't get kicked out of the game or anything. Opponent goes first. Hey, I don't mind this hand. It's good that we were actually able to test the XX tokens, too, to make sure that actually worked. Because other words, that would be a little silly. One of the main reasons for the 3 blind mice, you know? Okay, Sunset Revelry is great against mono red, so the triple 3 blind mice, on the other hand, might not be great against mono red. That could be a problem. We'll see, we'll see. Any swing here is fine. Any swing from a creature is fine because we'll gain and then generate 2 blockers on the ground. Okay, Razorverge Thicket. Yep, better do this. Not bad. It definitely helps us out. We could double block Etching, but they could find some burn. They could go land, power up Mishra's Foundry. That would definitely be the double block if it came down to it. I'm going to go for the double block. How do you guys feel about that? If they burn one of the 1/1s just to keep their Etching alive, that's burn that's not hitting our face. Monstrous Rage. Well, a little bit less damage, down to 16. We definitely slowed them down a little bit. Who Endures does pick up the Etching, but I think we better get the 3 Blind Mice established here. And we might need to play this as a land to get ready for the Sunfall too. Godric. Taking 8 here is brutal, dude. But if we don't have a token to copy, then we don't go wide here. But Godric is going in the air anyways. I'm going to take it and risk it. We had some really good games today, guys. I say risking it is totally fine. Okay. So a little bit of life gain on the clay-fired bricks. They go in the air. They could easily win next turn. Who Endures could take out the Etching. So we go clay-fired bricks over the 3 Blind Mice because we're going up to 10, grabbing a Plains. And then we have 2 open for the Who Endures. If they find lethal, we take out the Etching. Right? And then hopefully we see a land off the top for Sunfall. No attacks. We need as many chump blockers as possible. There's a small chance that they don't power up this Godric to swing in the air. Whiff Spear. Okay. We're in danger, dude. I think that Godric is coming in the air. I think it is. It could be another, like, Monstrous Rage, too. Double block Swift Spear just seems like... Oh! They're giving us the chump into the Godric. Is it worth the risk? We're about to copy the 1/1 again. Like, I could chump 2, and then we get nothing from the 3 Blind Mice. I'm still going to use Who Endures on the Etching. How do you guys feel about that? It is going to be Play with Fire. Okay. I should do this, right? How much is that, though? Going down to 8. That would be 7 total. If we Sunfall, then they probably just burn us. And they keep 1 on top, too. Yeah, we should prevent some of that. And the one they kept on top is actually going to get shuffled in, too. So if it was some burn. So now we're taking 4 down to 4 instead of going down to 1. But now they could have a Lightning Strike open too, since that's an untapped. It's a Play with Fire. We're still going down to 1, guys. And we ramped them too. Brutal, brutal stuff. They keep 1 on top. Yep. Okay. Restless Prairie. That's a tapped land, unfortunately. So Sunfall isn't doing it. Even if Sunfall was doing it, Mishra's Foundry would wrap it up next turn. So unfortunately, that's it. Very effective game for Mono Red over there. A bunch of mice. The triple 3 Blind Mice did not do too much for us, huh? Bloodthirsty Adversary. Bring back that Play with Fire anyways. Oh, they didn't have 5 mana. Never mind. Hey. Good game, opponent. I'm going to go ahead, take my time with the blocks here, take that 6. Good game. Not too bad overall from us. We did end up gaining, what, 6 total in that match, which actually isn't that bad. A second Revelry would have been pretty good. Untapped land, like I said, Foundry was going to do it. Maybe if I didn't go Who Endures, they wouldn't have had the open red. We would have been down to 1 anyways. Then Who Endures could have come down, Sunfall, Mishra's Foundry. Yep. Foundry was going to wrap that game up regardless. So maybe 3 Blind Mice with an early chump early on. The double block into Etching was particularly bad because of the Monstrous Rage. I don't know if there was a way through with our particular hand there, right? Outside of like a mulligan or something. So All right, guys. Hey, the maintenance did not interrupt us. That's good news. Let's go ahead, go over the deck one more time. Here it is. Felt pretty good, man. I like it. Few things. I really wanted to see 3 Blind Mice do a thing today, and I feel like it did. Copying like the Phyrexian Horror was really cool, worked really well against the mono blue. But then we also saw the slow side of 3 Blind Mice when we got to see it go up against the mono red list there too. So I could see dropping down to 3 or 2 of these, depending on what you're seeing in the meta, and then going up just more utility, more ways to survive your particular case of the meta, right? So if you are seeing a lot more mono red than what I'm seeing, which I'm seeing a fair bit of it, but maybe yours is every other game mono red, then more life gain could go a long way, or just more like removal in general, more effective removal to take care of cards like Godric and other things like that. But like I could see a 4th clay with clay-fired bricks too. Yeah, I could totally see that. I almost said clay with fire, by the way, because of play with fire. That's pretty silly. Outside of that, I do like the quadruple 3 Blind Mice, and we're going to have mana for it more often than not. The 25 lands totally felt like enough in here too, right? I think so. I think so. There's going to be a lot of moments where you want more, though, so I could see dropping a couple 3 Blind Mice, going up the clay-fired bricks, and a mana too. If you think that it's a little bit too greedy, only having 25, going up to 26 could work. I know a lot of you guys do like a lot more land. Sometimes when I play with 26 land, it just feels like I have 29 land in my build, though. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like way too much. And so 25 seems to be a happy place for my mid-range builds. I think that would be the case for this one, too. As far as like the Nissa and stuff that I didn't get to go over when I went over the deck, like the -7, the forests and stuff, like Jetmir's Garden also counts as a forest. Outside of that, you're not really looking at the -7. You're looking at everything else on this card. The chance to destroy artifacts and enchantments. And of course, just every turn, good token generation. Actually, terrific token generation. Once Nissa hits the board, it is such a huge threat that the opponent pretty much has to focus everything onto it. In other words, you're getting a free Phyrexian Horror every turn, and in this build, it might mean a couple free ones every turn because of the 3 Blind Mice. So, yeah, really cool list, really fun. Elspeth Resplendent was awesome too. I didn't get to do Sunfall, did I? Did I? That's just like, that's, you know, that's typical. From a Red Cat build, right? You pack the despicable card in, and we didn't even get to see it, did we? I don't know. I don't think we did. There were like a lot of moments. The reason I'm confusing myself is there were a lot of moments where we were just like, okay, well, Sunfall's available if we need it, but then we just like never needed it, and like our like board was just so good at getting nice and wide and chunky anyways on its own that like Sunfall seemed unnecessary. I still like having the one Glistening Dawn in here too. We didn't get to see this today, but I like the concept of the incubator tokens because I like the concept of being able to craft that clay-fired brick into the Cosmium Kiln off of like the incubators. So like I just like really like the little tiny synergies packed in too that we didn't get to see, but I would keep them the same regardless. All 4 Restless Prairie seemed pretty good. I think those were necessary in some of those. As a matter of fact, yeah, no, I would keep all 4 of them. I would. I don't think like the tapped land's going to hold you up too often when we don't have any 1-mana cards in here. So like Restless Prairie comes down turn 1, easy peasy. Same concept with Jetmir's Garden or even the farmland. That's fine too. But in this deck, you're going to be often getting 2 or more lands onto the board. So farmland is probably going to come out untapped anyways. And then just like having your early thicket sources, so that way you have early revelry, early removal, early clay-fired bricks to get your planes. Everything felt good, right? I think so. You guys will have to let me know in the comments, what would you add or take out? Did you enjoy the list? Do you think it's powerful? I think it is. I could totally see taking this in confidently and thinking to myself, okay, well, I'll get some wins today. You know what I mean? So yeah, thanks for the suggestion again over in the Discord. I think I brought this up earlier. I don't get to play decks like this too often outside of suggestions, but it was fun. I enjoyed it a lot, actually. Okay, guys. Hey, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions for real. Don't forget to check out that Discord link down in the description, as well as that Patreon link if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Okie dokies, guys. I will see y'all in the next video.